So, meningitis, encephalitis. Bottom line, identify. Okay? What makes you suspect meningitis, encephalitis? Okay? Balikan na lang natin yan last. Fever, headache, vomiting. Period. CNS infection. Most emergency room physician, CNS infection, refer to neurology agad. Okay? Sometimes they do not do anything. Okay? So you experience already admitted na yung patient, no orders. Okay. The ER specialist, they just deal with the ER and they don't know how to order for admission. Okay. So you should know how to order for admission. So, how do you differentiate meningitis from encephalitis? That's three things. Increase intracranial pressure. Do they all have? Yes. Headache and vomiting. Right? Probably altered level of consciousness. Second, meningeal irritation. Sino mayroon? Meningitis. Most viral meningoencephalitides or most viral infections are meningoencephalitides. So chances are, if it is an encephalitis, you might also see meningeal irritation. Clear? What differs meningitis from encephalitis is that encephalitis has what? Focal neurologic deficit, involvement of the cortex. Whereas meningitis, nothing. Tama? And all the other list of manifestations, petechial rashes, are due to the systemic effects of the infection. So, if you have a meningitis that has petechial rashes, what is it? Hello? Hello? Petechial rashes. Meningococcemia. Okay? Neisseria meningitidis. Tama? Okay. Meningococcemia. So now, you just saw the petechial rashes. ER ka pa lang, nakita mo na may rashes. What do you do? First, protect yourself. First, protect yourself. Okay? Personal protective equipment. Okay? Nowadays, ICU, ER, most of the doctors come in without mask anymore. Okay. If you find someone with a rash, first, protect yourself. Isolate the patient in an isolation room. Clear? So, your initial eyeballing, you already have an idea that it is meningitis. And if it is meningitis, you should know which is contagious and which is not. Among the most contagious, again, is meningococcal meningitis. Clear? Okay. So, cryptococcal meningitis, not really. Diba? But then, how will you know which is viral, fungal, or bacterial? You already know that. You don't have to ask, diba? So you can tell the doctor, the ER doctor, Doc, I think this patient has a bacterial meningitis because of the following. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? What's the series of it? The younger ones really assert themselves to make the diagnosis. Clear? Clear? Okay? So, don't emulate the Filipino characters because they're not really Filipinos. Tama? Doon sa tapit. Okay. So, well, meningitis is associated with high rates of death and serious long-term complications. Over the years, meningitis technically actually has gone down in the Philippines lower than this, 1 per 100,000. Not really that frequent anymore. Why? Because our healthcare is improving. Okay. Diba? Because technology is improving and well, with due respect to that stupid past president who should be Trump, okay? It was him who made who made it really zero balance billing. So nobody is supposed to die from meningitis anymore if diagnosed early. Okay, it's been a long time since I've seen an infant with hydrocephalus. Okay, so the meningitis that we see nowadays are related to, are more of the TB meningitis. They're more frequent na cryptococcal meningitis. But the bacterial meningitis are very, very less, much less frequent nowadays. Okay, because of rational antibiotic use. One. Okay. Did you know that if you prescribe, anong antibiotics ang i-prescribe now, you have to report? So if you prescribe any fourth generation cephalosporin or any of the more expensive ones, suddenly you're supposed to be the attending physician and you're going to see another infectious disease doctor who is called in, which you did not even authorize, because it's automatic for them to monitor the management with antibiotics so that there is rational drug use. Okay? So, when you were children, you were born, konting lagnat lang, your pediatrician will hospitalize you already. And they will already give cephalosporin IV for 1 week. Okay. Nowadays, because we have infectious disease specialists, now they cannot automatically give antibiotics. Okay? To pedia. Okay? So, hanap buhay din ng pedia yun. Ethical part. You prescribe antibiotics that they don't need, but because GlaxoSmithKline is the Roche, Roche is the supplier for ceftriaxone, and you have so many sales, okay, and then you get okay, bawal na kayo nyo. Okay, so beware. Okay, aside from that, Dr. Gavin, I will be monitoring your practice for the rest of your life. Okay? So, when we see that you are unethical, we will denounce you. We don't like you. And you're going to know that because you're not going to approach us when you see us. Because you have nothing to be proud of because you're not practicing your career ethically. Okay? I have one or two that I really don't like, but I just keep quiet. But when they come to me, I should have been proud of this particular doctor because he was a good intern. But now, he's a general practitioner covering everything from cosmetic to stem cell. Okay? So, medyo may mga kinakahiya ka. So we don't want to be ashamed. I will not to be ashamed of you. Okay. So, algorithm. So, what is the first line? What's the first thing that you should do when you suspect a patient with CNS infection? Hello? What should you do when you... this patient, looks like this patient has acute bacterial meningitis or maybe herpes zoster meningitis. What should you do? What's the first thing that you do? Ano? Louder. Louder, ha? circulation, airway, breathing. That's the first thing. Okay? So, pag dumating yung pasyente, okay, nakahiga, first thing that you do, to take the pulse. Wala pa kasing blood pressure, look at them if they're breathing. Okay? So, see, circulation, airway, breathing. Resuscitation is the first thing. After, while you are doing the resuscitation, okay, mamaya pa pala yun. Sige. You already know this, you don't have to do this. Okay, in pedia, manifestations of meningitis are one word, two words, three words. Failure to thrive. Failure. Okay, di ba? Huh? As they grow older, irritability, lethargy, and vomiting. Okay. So, I was blessed with the day when Pedia Neuro came to AUF. Why? Because when I was the only neurologist in the community, the pedia fever, failure to drive, automatically refers to neurologist for LP. Okay. And they don't have a small spinal needle for neonates. Okay, what do we do? The hypodermic syringe, and the needle is very sharp. Okay, so now I'm happy I don't have to do LP or pedia anymore. Okay, just for that. Okay, even Tina refers to them. Yeah, I think even the pedia neuro refers to the anesthesiology. So in neonates, one word, failure to thrive. Okay? Any patient with fever and seizures is probably CNS infection, so they refer to the neurologist. Okay? So, any one of you wants to go into pedia neuro, okay? Ayan, nire-recommend namin kasi we don't have a pedia neuro living in Angeles City. The only one is in San Fernando, Mount Carmel. She doesn't want to make rounds in Angeles City. Okay, it's because she's already too busy there. And if you get an appointment, mga 1 month, 2 months later, I can pedia child site. Okay, the appointment is 2 months later. So if that's the case, it means that the specialty still lucrative. Okay, because it takes time before you can see the patient. So therefore, there's too many patients that they cannot handle. So what happens in between? We end up managing emergency initially, but eventually we refer to them. Clear? Okay? So pag gusto mag-pedia neuro, just tell us. You have to be a pediatrician first to become a pedia neurologist. To become a child psychiatrist, you have to be a full psychiatrist first before you train for child and adolescent psychiatry, another 2 years. Okay, so we need help. Okay, this guy is not praying that he's dying. No, he's doing what? Wernicke sign. Okay, Rudzinski sign. Okay. So again, circulation, airway, breathing, whether you're in the emergency room or at the ambulance going to receive the patient. Okay. So as soon as while you're actually assessing circulation, airway, breathing, you are eyeballing the patient's already physical status, if he's cachectic, if there are rashes, okay, and all those things. While you're doing the IV access, you're actually also evaluating the neurological status. So, you don't do them one at a time, you do all of these things simultaneously. So, while you're inserting, ano ho bang nangyari sa kanya? Okay? No? Okay, you're trying to talk to the patient, what's happening to you? Okay. You don't want to delay resuscitation. Huh? So, istorya na naman. Circulation, airway, breathing, whatever the diagnosis is. Okay? 20 years ago, a niece of ours was in Bicol, Naga, asthmatic. She went into the emergency room. Okay. Asthmatic. So she was dyspneic. So if you're dyspneic, what happens? You're very restless. Okay. The doctor was good. She knows that she had to intubate the patient. But what she said was, oh, I cannot intubate her. She's restless. Okay. Hintayin muna natin magkalmado. Okay. Nagkalmado na nga kasi nag-arrest na. Stupid. Okay. If the patient is restless while you're intubating, what is the protocol? Okay. 3 letters or 3 words. No. Restless yung intubation. Nagwawala. Meningitis. Seizure. You have to intubate. The patient is very, very restless. Okay. Nananakit. You cannot intubate. 3 words. Tama. What? Louder. Sedation. Anong tawag doon? Rapid sequence intubation. Okay? Clear? So, we discussed rapid sequence intubation. You can give benzodiazepine to sedate or whatever IV sedatives to calm the patient down. Then you intubate. Clear? Hello? Okay. So when you are rotating with the at the OR with the anesthesiologist, okay, don't just stand there and doing nothing like that. Okay. Galit na galit. My daughter is an anesthesiologist. My wife is an anesthesiologist. Okay. In fairness, on AU graduate, masaya sila. Kasi they know more. But all the interns, other than AU, even from the big schools in Manila, nakatulala lang silang ganon. Yung pag tinanong sila, no? Ganyan. Okay. No? So when you're with the anesthesiologist, okay, or even with the surgeon, you ask them questions. Doktora, ano po yung rapid sequence intubation? Kasi inuulit-ulit sa amin. But we know that you have to give, so do you do that? When do you do that? Kunyari, hindi mo alam. Okay? But when you hear it from them, you will remember it for the rest of your life. Clear? Okay? So, I guess my wife is a better teacher than me, even if she doesn't teach here. Because there are plenty of anesthesiology graduates from AUF who went into anesthesiology because of her. Okay. Bakit sa akin walang sumunod? Okay. Dapat, yeah. 3 pala. Okay, so ayun. Galvan, si Yang Bao, at saka si Salem, he was my student, he was the first. There was one top-notcher, Dong, but he ended up becoming a nephrologist. Okay. So, where are you? So, when will you do neuroimaging first before lumbar puncture? These are the indications. Okay. So nowadays, since the CT scan is just there and right behind the emergency room, if you need to do an LP, you're not 100% sure of the history. You want to confirm that there is something. You want to avoid the possibility of brain herniation, or you have neurologic deficit, okay, or any of all of these things. Before doing the LP, okay, you need to do a CT scan first. Clear? Okay. I'd rather request for a contrast CT scan than a plain CT scan. Because the contrast CT scan will enhance the arachnoid, okay, the blood vessels in the arachnoid, and we will see that it is actually meningitis. Or in immunocompromised patient, you see a meningitis patient with a focal neurologic deficit, you might be looking at a brain abscess. Okay, so we've had quite a number of toxoplasmosis abscesses recently associated with HIV. Okay? They're still alive. So you will not die. So when you do the LP, cell count and differential, test tube number 1. Okay? If it is cloudy, you get a fourth test tube to do the cell count because you might have done a traumatic tap. So you use the fourth one to send to the lab. Okay. So second is for the chemistry. Third is gram stain in the ink. I've never ever had any positive of these two ever. Okay. So now, it's easier to send the third specimen for biofire ME assay, okay, which will cover 12? Yeah, so a lot of the etiologies for meningitis and encephalitis. It may be a little bit expensive, but it is definite. Okay, rather than request for Cryptococca, Calas, TB PCR, okay, and herpes simplex PCR. Yung tatlo lang yon, mas mura pa si biofire assay, ME panel. Clear? We don't do viral culture, okay? Nobody cultures for mycobacteria anymore. Nobody cultures for syphilis anymore. Okay? So, again, when you do the lumbar puncture, if it is normal, you must consider something else. WBC means very, very high WBC means it is bacterial meningitis. When the tube looks like pineapple juice, really almost opaque, then it is bacterial. Okay, viral meningitis are only turbid. They're not really as opaque as acute purulent meningitis. Okay, if it looks like a viral meningitis, but there are RBCs that you cannot explain with traumatic tap, then you might be considering herpes encephalitis. Okay? And elevated WBC less than 100 and very high protein content, it means that the pathology is chronic. So you will look at the test tube to be xanthochromic. Okay? It means that it is a chronic condition. So you're looking at TB meningitis. Okay? And of course, it's pure blood, it is subarachnoid hemorrhage. But again, if it is subarachnoid hemorrhage, what differs it from meningitis? It is, hello?
Sudden.
There is no subarachnoid hemorrhage. There is no, there is no fever. Tama? Okay. And subarachnoid hemorrhage, since it is a vascular disease, it is
Sudden.
sudden. Okay, very good. Nagtatanong sa ward, sasagot kayo sa consultant, ha? Hello? Yeah? Okay. So, opening pressure, okay? we don't have the spinal manometer that you might see on YouTube. What we have is we ask for the IV tubing. It's the one that we attach and we just measure it upwards. Okay, in millimeters. Then from the IV tubing, that's where I get my test tubes para hindi na ako napapagod. Okay, so normal less than 5 WBC. Okay, so what if it is 10? It's abnormal. Tama? Okay, if it is 10, the only two possibilities are cryptococcal, probably TB meningitis, but then you still have to correlate them with the protein. Okay, if it is 10, the protein is normal, the glucose is normal, the opening pressure is normal, I will still consider that as normal. Okay, no? So unfortunately, some of our colleagues, 5, tapos may naging 6, normal lahat. They will do a lot of workup. Okay, no? To make the patient spend so much. Last time a patient was admitted at the emergency room. He complained of chest pain. Young patient. And he had blank stares like that. Okay, so all vital signs were normal. They called the cardiologist first. Chest pain. Okay, and he's young. Okay, aortic aneurysm. Do the CT angiography first. Okay, by the time I saw the patient, they gave me the story. Broke up with his girlfriend. Okay, family problem. And he was like that. No focal neurologic deficit. All vital signs were normal. Okay, so he spent maybe 300,000 pesos for the workup that he did not need. Clear? Okay? So the question will give you the results, and it is up for you to identify which is the diagnosis. Clear? So that's an applied question, that's also an evaluate question. Should we give normal values when we give the question?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Hindi, kasama sa memorization, di ba?
No.
Ha?
Normal value.
Siguro ito po yung normal values were obvious na lang.
Oh, obvious na lang, di ba? Okay. This is not like serum creatinine, where the normal values change every week. Okay. Where do they get their normal values? I think it's still stupid. But where do they get their normal values? Did you realize one lab compared to another lab, pag compare mo yung mga normal values, iba-iba? Hello? Ha? No?
Depende siya. Machinery.
Wala? Wala? Okay. So, for every reagent that is submitted to the laboratory that they purchase, kunyari may lot number yung reagent, sino mga medtech?
Hana.
Ayan. For every reagent, okay, may pool zero. Okay. That lot number would have been tested already maybe for 100 times. And that pool zero with normal creatinine. Okay. Then they do the statistical graph and with a tawag doon, standard deviation, one standard deviation below, one standard deviation above. That's the normal. So nagbabago based on the reagent kit. Clear? Okay, but more or less it's still the same. Okay, and when you do your test, now they don't do it anymore. We used to do it in the laboratory, yung yung totoong chemical reactions. When we do one patient, there is one normal. So we should target the mean. Okay, if our normal is in the mean, then our test result is good. If our normal is more than one standard deviation away, we discard and we repeat again. Clear? Nowadays, no, everything is automated. So there is no longer any medical technologies. It's just less to go to school for 4 years to be a medical technologist, just for you to sit like that and put drops, okay, in the test tube and put them in the machine, and then you have the result. Doing that, diba? So dapat technician na lang yun. So dapat pala ng 4-year course na medtech. Okay, so something for you to memorize. Okay, what are the most common pathogens at neonates, pedia, adults, and elderly adults? Okay, which of them are contagious? Okay, and what are the empirical treatment? What do you mean by empirical treatment? Just because of the age, neonate, you're supposed to give only ampicillin and cefotaxime. You don't give vancomycin. Okay? Because it does not cover the bacteria, the most common bacteria. Okay? But again, in acute purulent meningitis, you do the LP, you get the specimen, you send for culture, and if the culture sends a list of antibiotics for which the bacteria is sensitive, you start changing. You shift to the other antibiotics. Okay? Unless it's already sensitive to what you have already been given. Clear? Okay. So, for immunocompromised, those are the drugs at the what do you call, the pathogens and the preferred drugs for the immunocompromised patient. We have more and more immunocompromised patients nowadays. Why? Because we have patients who have HIV. We have patients post-kidney transplant, okay, who are taking immunosuppressants. I have quite a few patients on myasthenia gravis on azathioprine immunosuppressant, okay, and then you have other immune deficiency syndromes as a result of treatment. Even the patients undergoing cancer chemotherapy are also immunocompromised. Okay? So, you have to consider that these are the most common pathogens. If there is surgery, okay, or injury, staph aureus should be your first priority. Clear? Okay? Healthcare associated hospital-acquired infection. Staph aureus, staph epidermidis, and Pseudomonas. Pseudomonas, of course, once you get Pseudomonas, that's the most difficult. Okay. Nakakalusot ka na ba ng mga stroke na walang antibiotics? Na nadi-discharge from the ICU ng antibiotics? Okay. Nung bago-bago rin kami, stroke patients get admitted, okay, no fever, no nothing, naka-ceftriaxone na agad. Kasi yung nag-refer na attending physician, nagdi-dispense siya ng ceftriaxone. So ngayon, may bawal na. So pag nagbigay ka ng mga antibiotics, they bring on board an infectious disease specialist to look at your antibiotic prescriptions. Okay? Rational drug use. That's why getting sick nowadays is becoming more expensive. Okay? So drugs of choice. Herpes zoster, acyclovir. Varicella zoster, acyclovir. We don't have that ganciclovir. Okay, wala no? Okay, or neither of these two. Clear? Okay, so anyway, when we make the diagnosis, we refer anyway to the infectious disease specialist. So, a lot of fungal and tuberculous meningitis, even if the patient looks perfectly healthy and you have a fungal meningitis, TB meningitis, you have to find a way to request for HIV screening. If they refuse, you can request for CD4. Okay, no? CD4 will dictate if the patient is immunocompromised. At least the infectious disease will have enough evidence to convince the family to request for HIV screening. Okay? Over the years, past 20 years, I've had only one cryptococcal meningitis patient who is HIV negative. Okay? And he's elderly. And he's a pastor. Okay, pero HIV negative. So, kasi hindi daw. So, immunocompromised lang. Okay. So, in acute bacterial meningitis, steroids are helpful. Okay. Except for Streptococcus pneumoniae. Okay. You can administer steroids up to 4 hours after the antibiotics. Their primary purpose is to prevent arachnoiditis. Okay, what is arachnoiditis? When there is inflammation in the area of the base of the brain where where the pus stays, as it resolves, it becomes fibrous. Okay, so you don't want the fibrosis from happening to produce arachnoiditis because the arachnoiditis can produce stroke-like symptoms. Clear? Okay? So, what's the diagnosis? Ring-enhancing lesions, okay, that may require surgical intervention. Here is a ring-enhancing lesion, okay? So, plain, this is MRI. MRI. So, plain, contrast, and there is enhancement. Okay? So, it means what is inside is liquid. So, ideally, they may require surgical intervention, most especially if they're in the fluid areas of the brain before they become big. Okay? Clear? So, case study. Help me with this doc. 70-year-old male, 78 new onset seizures, 36 hours of confusion and fever. Okay, fever and confusion. Fever itself, high-grade fever can cause confusion, not necessarily meningitis. What makes this meningitis is ducal rigidity and manifestations of possible neurologic deficits. Among them are, okay, disorientation, aphasia, probably focal neurologic deficit, or even probably urinary or bowel incontinence. Clear? If there is something like that, you know that there is already encephalopathy. And therefore, you're already at CNS infection. Okay. Otosat 94. Okay, airway, breathing, circulation. Should you worry? Should you be worried? What will you do? Intubate? Hello? Hello? Hindi pa. Below 94 intubation. 94 O2. Okay, para baka mahabol pa siyang it can possibly go up. Okay. 94, but is already comatose, might as well intubate. Clear? Okay? RR22, oh, he's breathing. BP 130/90, so you don't have to do anything. Why is the heart rate so fast? Hello? Fever causes the heart rate to be so fast. If there is sudden rapid increase in intracranial pressure, what is the pattern? The BP will be very high and the pulse rate will be very low. Clear? 38.7, 36 hours. So it's consistent with acute purulent meningitis and probably still acute viral meningitis. Clear? So, naglalactic ka ba? Wala ka.
Yung mga infectious doctor.
Okay, the ID request for lactate, but we usually do not do that. Okay, so when we start managing this, well, we should request blood culture if the meningitis is secondary to sepsis. Okay, and more, how many percent of blood cultures actually turn out positive? Very few. Does he need a CT scan prior to lumbar puncture? Why?
If older than 50
Huh?
years old.
Any answer? Okay. So, CT scan. There is hemorrhage inside. Okay. But you know that this is not intracerebral hemorrhage secondary to stroke, but this is a viral illness. Okay. So, among the viral illnesses, which one is likely to result in temporal lobe hemorrhage? Herpes simplex. Clear? So when you do the LP, there will be blood. Okay. So which is the most important drug useful for this patient?
Cyclovir.
Okay. This question is called when we make questions, we measure the MPL, minimum passing level. Okay. Our question is, how many of you will get this correct? Okay. How many got it correct? Taas kamay.
Cyclovir.
Ha? How sure are you that the answer is your answer? Cyclovir. Why? Ha? It's the only antiviral. Okay. So, if 100%, because the questions are obviously wrong, 100% wrong, this makes it 1.0, 100% easy. Okay? So, the degree of difficulty is 0. Okay, but degree of facility is 100. Clear? But if I put something else here, ano yan? Ganciclovir. Okay, tapos vancomycin, piperacillin. How many what is the degree of difficulty? Okay, 75. 75%. Okay, you have two possible choices. Okay, your chances of getting it right is 75%. Kasi, yeah, 50% na ito yung possible correct. So you're only playing with, you remove the other 50%. Okay? So, you have 75% chance of getting it right. So, acyclovir, ganciclovir, Abante din. Ha? Ano pang pwede natin lagay?
Oscar na.
Ha?
Oscar na.
Ano? Oh, whatever. Tatlo. Tatlo. Your chance of getting this right is 50%. Okay? Okay? Clear? And if the answers are all cyclovir. Okay. If the answers are all cyclovir, if you did not read, you might even think that the others are correct. Baka there's a new paper that came out that these are the current evidence. So it becomes a 0. Clear? Ha? Ano? 25 na lang pala. 25. Okay. So that's how, if I get 1 for this, the next question is 0.25, the next question is 0.5. For 100 items, we total all of those. And that's the actual passing level. That's how we base in high stakes examinations like national board exams. That's how we get the passing before the students actually took the exam. Okay, clear? Okay, the PLE, they pull, they do the statistics, they do the art, and they cut off. So there will always be somebody who will fail. Okay, but in AUF, if we say that 65 is passing, even if all of you are below 65, you're all below 65, you fail. Di ba na-experience niya yun sa ato? OB. Di ba? Where only 3 or 4 pass. Okay? So kasi, we have what they call criterion reference. Okay? Grading system. Clinical first. Okay.